It's to the point where I don't want to go outside anymore. It's too dangerous. That quote from one New York City local as residents in major cities face a surge in violence, with many blaming far-left crime laws. Jack Brewer is on the board of the Federal Enforcement Homeland Security Foundation, and he joins us now to react. Good morning, Jack. Merry Christmas. Glad to see you here on the day after.
Good morning.
When you take a look, Jack, and you hear that quote, it's to the point I don't even want to go outside anymore, from a New York resident. What are your thoughts? What can be done?
It's really sad, when lawlessness has abounded in the land so much, and when the disrespect for law enforcement officers has become a part of the culture in many ways, in so many parts of our society where you don't have that basic respect for order. When an officer says something, you feel like you can say something back, do something back. When you see so many law enforcement officers that are slain in our streets, and now with all of these smash and grabs and a national push to take resources away from law enforcement officers when we should be giving more resources to law enforcement officers, it really is sad. But I tell you what, you can see that folks are understanding the depth of this situation and the hypocrisy when you hear certain folks that want to defund the police, all of a sudden when they start to get carjacked, or when they start to get robbed, or when these crimes start to move into their rich, wealthy communities, they want to all of a sudden do something about law enforcement. That's really sad.
Hey, Jack, look at these numbers. We continue to set bad records. This is New York City. 1,828 people shot in 2021. So that's up from 2020, which was also a record bad year when it comes to shootings. You brought up something interesting, when someone changes their tune. Crime is a quality of life issue. It's one that motivates people to vote. Any quality of life issue does, that which impacts you directly. Here's what I want to ask you, Jack. The African-American vote, the black vote, overwhelmingly Democratic. Many of these crime stats coming at least correlated, if not causationally related to some of these left Democratic policies. We're talking about a quality of life issue where the major victims of these crimes are black, are minorities, are those people who voted for the politicians that put these policies into place. So when does that quality of life issue change the vote?
Man, that is, for our time, that's a question that most people haven't been able to figure out. And I think that's because when you look deep at it, when you look at it spiritually, and you start to understand what being a voice for the voiceless really means. Unfortunately, those folks that have been elected in those districts, in those communities, those mayors, they're not really speaking for their people. They're double-minded. And when the Bible talks about being a double-minded man, that's someone that is only going to say what they need to say to gain power, but not really stand up for the people. And I think that's the problem that we're having. We're having is our representation in these communities is not really standing up for our best interests. And if we don't go to the root cause of that and stop trying to pander to one another, I think the welfare programs that we have in our society have hurt the fabric of our nation. I don't think people work as much as they should. And so those folks that are actually being hurt a lot of times aren't even voting. And that's the unfortunate reality, Will. But I tell you what, something's going to have to change. Something's going to have to give, because in the city of Chicago, when 409 kids get shot in 1 year, kids, I'm talking about 10, 11, 12 years old, when things like that start happening, and you have the youth of our nation that are hurting the way that they are with their reading and math proficiency levels, those kids are going to commit crimes. When you have people that don't have educations, they're going to commit crimes. And so grown folks need to step up. We need to get the paddle back in our schools. We have a real issue with discipline, respect, law and order in this nation. And we need to start whooping these kids again. Will, I'm going to keep it straight up with you on on day after Christmas. If we don't put the order of God, we keep on sparing a ride, we're hating our children. And that's the unfortunate fact, man, of our society today.
Well, however, accountability however accountability is brought to bear, be it within our family or with politicians, accountability is the issue. A lack of accountability is the issue. Jack, Merry
Amen.
Christmas. Great to see you again this morning. Thank you for joining us on Fox & Friends.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.